Actually, last fall was the beginning of esports as a high school sport in America. Um, there was a fall season that was called Season 0 that 6 states participated in. Alabama joined this spring, so this is Season 1 for all esports in America. There are currently 11 states that participate, and they're projecting to be up to about 24 by next fall. Esports has 2 seasons, a fall and a spring season, and we play 2 games, League of Legends and Rocket League. Some other states play other games. The company that operates the league is called Play Versus, and they actually got a grant from the National Football League a few years ago to develop an esports gaming platform for high school competitive athletic gaming. And so we are a sanctioned sport. The students compete using PC computers. They play on PCs. And the games are played virtually online. So we don't go to the other schools who we play against. We are in our lab and they're at their school, and we play twice a week against other schools. We actually started preparing because we first heard about that there was going to be esports at the start of the last school year, and then they decided to wait and roll it out for the spring. What I've seen is just a tremendous level of interest in a wide variety of students who may not have felt like they wanted to participate in a traditional sport, but they feel like this is a way for them to represent their school, to compete, to do something that they enjoy doing, that they would be doing anyway. But the difference here is that this is not just competing for themselves. They're part of a team. And just like any other team sport, they have to play as a team. They have to grow and bond together. They have to be able to trust each other, to listen to each other, and to know what their role is, and then work on getting better at not just for themselves. And I think what's really important for people who are new to gaming to understand is that we don't just sit down and start playing. Practices for us are similar to practices for other sports. We spend a great deal of time planning, strategizing, scouting our opponents, looking at their game history, looking at their stats, figuring out what their tendencies are, and then how our strengths match up against theirs, and then what we're going to do to try and win. The games themselves they're computer-based, but they really are very complicated to play at a very high level. Our students spend hundreds of hours honing their skills in the same way that an athlete in another sport would spend practicing the basic skills that they need to perform. And a lot of times I'll hear that the folks who want to talk about how it's not a sport, but my way of thinking is that it's a sport in the fact that it is competitive. We use tools the way that other sports use tools. Nobody says that auto racing is not a sport because the car is doing the work. The computer is doing the work, but the student has to drive it, and they have to make decisions in a very short amount of time, and that decision is going to affect the outcome of the game. And when they make good decisions, we win. And so that's really what we work on is, how to make the best decisions, how to make better decisions than our opponents. So, and I think these skills that they learn in esports translate well into the rest of their lives. The decision making, to the problem solving, the working as a team, and that's why you're seeing industries recruiting, esports athletes. We talk a lot. We try and work a lot with not just other high schools or other gamers, but folks in the computer industry, software industry, engineers, and they come to us. They seek us out because these kids are developing skills that they want. This year, competitively, we had 25 students. Since we have been participating both, in the regular season, the playoffs. We got to the championships in both Rocket League and League of Legends. We've probably had at least 50 students come up and ask about joining the team next year. We are, and that's the other great thing about esports, is that it is very inclusive. Whereas, in other sports, if you were the third or fourth string, third or fourth best at your position, you may not get to play much. But in this, we can have as many teams as we can field. And so even our newest players, like this past season, even our newest players were able to get better and improve. And, our lowest level team in League of Legends made the playoffs. So, they were really excited and happy about just being able to play. And in another sport, you wouldn't see that necessarily. So it's growing at an exponential rate, and I think it's only going to get bigger. At the college level, it is a club sport mostly. There are currently more than 200 universities and colleges all over the United States that offer scholarships for play. Actually, we have recently been kind of working with, or he came and talked to we met him at a tournament, a player who played for Auburn, who graduated and now works at SAIC here in Huntsville. And he talked about his experiences, with playing for the club circuit with Auburn, and how that really helped him. He felt like that was a deciding factor in him getting hired at SAIC. And so even though, our students might not go on to participate in an NCAA sanctioned sport, like it is club, it is still an opportunity for them to not just earn college money for scholarship, but also have something on their resume that's going to be attractive to future employers. I think it's important because for the people out there who maybe question the nature of esports as a sport, to understand that our students really take this seriously. This isn't just play to them, and I think that this is sort of the future of sport. It's not that other sports, traditional sports, are going to go away or be replaced, but this is growing at such an amazing rate that I see professional leagues in every one of these sports, and it's just a positive thing. These kids really put their heart and souls into this, and I think that it's just amazing. I'm just super proud of them and their accomplishments and how hard they work.